Welcome again to my channel. This is Slanted Glasses. Today I'm going to continue reviewing of the Fables series. This is a really fascinating series that I never heard of before. That's why I'm trying to influence other people to read it because it's really good. It's light, but as the story goes, it's not really light. Today I'm going to review, as you can see from the title, from book 4 to book 9. What happened the last time you saw me review from book 1 from book 3, and it only makes sense if I make a review video per 3 books. But the problem is, because each book contains a really small chunks of story, you cannot really see the progression, which I need to see the overall progression of the plot, which I think it's important for me. So I think I'm going to read a bunch of it first, then I can form my opinion about those. So probably there will be spoiler, probably not, I'm not sure yet, but if there is spoiler, I will tell you or giving you some timestamp or anything like that. It will be really hard to do a story review without revealing who are the main characters, who are the main players of the series. So I'm going to tell you those now because I don't think it's count as spoiler. So the most important person or people in the stories are Snow White, and then the big bad wolf, and then Rose Red, and then Blue Boy, and then Geppetto, Pinocchio, and then Beauty and the Beast, and also the Frog Prince. They are the main characters that we follow through. We are looking the story of this world, of the Fable universe, through their eyes, and it's really fascinating. At first, we cannot really understand why the writer choose these characters and why they not really pick all of the good guys that traditionally good from their original story. Well, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, and Pinocchio is obviously good, but why Big Bad Wolf become a protagonist in this series? I won't tell you that. It's more satisfying to experience how and why Big Bad Wolf is becoming the main character in the stories. And maybe you are also from the names that I mentioned back then, there are one name that maybe strike you as weird. It is Rose Red. She is actually Snow White's sister, which is new for me too. I do some Google, and maybe I will tell you later after the whole 4 to 9 review. So because it's quite a fascinating story about her. Get into the review. In the last episode of the review of Fables, I already told you about the baseline story. It is about a group of Fable characters that's forced to leave their hometown, their homeland, and come to our world, to our mundane world. They call us Mundi because we're mundane, almost like muggles in Harry Potter series. They call us Mundi, Mundi world, Mundi technology, etc. they live among us in New York. They call it Fable Town, but it's just a term among them. The Mundys doesn't know that term. The Mundys always, they are tricked by the magic of the place, so they will not pay so much attention to the area of this particular area in New York. So in the fourth book, The March of the Winged Soldier, we are shown a little bit more about the history of how they leave their homeland, their last days there. There are drama involving Blue Boy and also the Red Riding Hood. In this book also, we also see the struggles of Prince Charming to try to be the new mayor of the Fable Town, because for centuries it always has one mayor. It was King Cole. I don't know where did he came from, what story did he came from. Maybe you can inform me. But yeah, after so many centuries with King Cole is fine. His reign is fine, but Prince Charming just likes to chase things and got his way, although he doesn't know how to maintain it. It's part of his character. And finally, after 3 books of mystery about who and why and how the adversary is, we finally shown the taste of it, because they finally managed to infiltrate the Fable Town. We're going to see their army, their small amounts of power. They try to attack basically Fable Town using not only military means, but also with lies and deception, as politics usually do. And we also get to see Baba Yaga. I don't know why I like this character outside of Fables. Maybe because I know her from the Tomb Raider series, which I also like. So there is Baba Yaga coming face to face with another well-known witch. And then on the 5th book, this is called The Mean Seasons, we're going to see some more backstories about Big B Wolf, Big Bad Wolf. He is called Big B now because he assumed a human form. It's not really used to add more to the main plot, but I guess it is done to really more endearing us to the character, because he's quite important in the whole story. He's the main guy. And then one of my complaints that I didn't told you from the first 3 books is how they introduce so many characters but not use them. But I guess because the nature of the books is not one-off, and they can span the stories through several books, we'll finally see that some characters give something to the story and becoming more important. Especially here, Beauty and the Beast becoming more important because there is a political changing. Because as you know, in the 4th book, there are someone who's campaigning to be the mayor, so there are political power changes in Fable Town. So many characters come and go, and at first it strikes me as odd because I thought that the last political power is status quo, and turned out, and on the fourth book it's all changed. And then the sixth book, it is called Homelands. As you can tell from the title, it is about the homelands. We finally see who is the adversary, who the adversary is. It is interesting, and I think this book marks the moment where the big story is starting to be more heavier and more convoluted. Not in a bad way, but I was under the impression that it keeps the tone really light. It keeps the story, you know, not too risky, I thought. But in this book, I saw a switch, a gradual switch to a more serious, more adult themes. 10th book, Arabian Nights and Day. As the title suggests, in this book we starting to touch the fables from the Arabian world. So Aladdin, Sinbad, the Jinn, etc. But only surface level. We're not getting into much of them, but it's really you know, it's really interesting to know that they not stick on the European side of fairy tales. They also dare themselves, the writer I mean, dare themselves to go into the other cultures' fairy tales. Although Arabian fairy tales is not that obscure. It's a part of our popular culture minds also. It's not that obscure, but I think they already put a foot in other cultures' fables. So I'm not sure if in the future they will touch more from more culture, and I think that will be really complicating things because there's so many. But so far they introduced them one by one, and I really hope there are other cultures' fables also make appearance in the story, but I'm not sure if they can juggle so much nuance, so much character and so much nuance from those fables, because sometimes different cultures have different themes. I don't know how and if they will do it. In this book also we become more empathize with the adversary, because there's a story on the last part of the book about a soldier that is the adversary soldier, and his struggle to be more human while he is still really loyal to the adversary. So I kind of like these kind of touches in stories that it is not about just the adversary is bad. They want to rule the world. They want to be the leader of the world, and that's all. They have their agenda, but the background of it is shown to us through their eyes, and it's really humanizing the antagonist. people thinks that you know, humanizing villains is just a trend, just a modern trend of 2010. But I guess it's not wholly the case. Yes, there are many modern stories and movies in comic books that we get to know personally the villain, to be able to empathize with them. But I think it's a progression. It's not just a trend that people follow. I think it's the progression of how people realize that empathizing with the villains is a way that more effective to make the story more engaging. Maybe they don't do that often in the past, but as literature evolved, I think this is something that people realize and felt that the stories which involved villain that we can empathize with is more effective. People are more getting into the stories really well. The 8th book, Wolves. So as you can tell from the title, it involves wolves, big bad wolves. And then another criticism of the series for me, in several books before this, there is one character that secludes himself away from the known world. He went away. He doesn't want to be bothered. And then just probably one book later, he's back without really learning something as a character. It's not changing him as a character. He's the same character. He doesn't really learn anything, and we also doesn't really know. It's not clear why he chose to seclude himself away. Maybe he did tell, but because his going and his coming back is not marked by a really huge impact upon his character. There's almost no change at all. I might forget it, so forgive me, but I think maybe that's the thing with trying to write so many characters in a story. So it feels like they gave us a false sense of danger, because this character that we rely upon for so many books just gone. And then they realize that he's really popular character, so he was back again without so much dent on the people that loves him, on the people that hates him, on him himself. He's not a different character before and after he's going. As personally, as the fans of the character, it's just fun to have him back. But when I really think about it, it's not really impactful. Last book of the series, it is called The Sons of Empire. We see more in this book, more and more of the adversary part. So we get into the struggles of both party. I was promised. I was researching a bit Wikipedia, of course, about Rose Red. It is said that Rose Red is originally the sister of Snow White, but she never mentioned in any of the Snow White stories that we know, especially the Disney version, because it's actually from a really different fairy tales. It doesn't have any connections. So the original story of Rose Red and Snow White is a different story from the Snow White that we know. I always like the work of art that makes us wanted to know more. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're kind enough, please like and subscribe, because I'm just starting the channel. I hope I can give you guys more quality content in the future. So that's it. Slanted Glasses out.